Financial.
Brian also tagged a question onto this. Why are your fantasy teams so bad? He is, of course, referring to fantasy football. He is in a league with myself, Zach, and then a few other friends and some enemies. And Brian, I think, has the best record in the league right now.
He's the only one undefeated.
And I just had underperformers and injuries, and every time I pick up somebody, they get injured.
Yeah.
And for everybody to understand,
Nick
it's
Chubb.
an 8-man league. So if you score less than 110 points a game, like you have no shot at winning. So, Zach Jenkins has this is his first time fantasy football.
This is my first time ever playing fantasy, and I'm number 3 in the league.
What's your realization that players get injured all the time?
Yeah, I did not realize how often people get injured, and also, I'll say this: I'm a football fan, but I'm a fan. Up until this point, I was a fan of my team, so I know all the players on my team.
Go Kansas City Chiefs!
Go Chiefs! Let's do it up for 2 in a row. We're struggling a little bit on offense, but we're still a good team.
It's fine.
But I realized how little I knew about the NFL and players in the NFL as a whole. So when I drafted, I realized I know my team, but I don't know a lot of these other people.
Yeah.
So I will say my draft was not that great, but my managerial decisions after that have
Probably
brought
the
my
best in the
team
league. I would honestly on the
projected to end up 6th to now I'm 3rd in the league, and some of the people that were projected to be 1st or 2nd
the problem, it's
and
me.
both my in-laws. Both my brother-in-laws were projected to be top, and they both have worse records than they have. Exact opposite records than me. So Brian
aren't so bad. You're just dumb.
Listen,
How's that? No.
Yeah.
How dumb do you feel?
Absolutely like an idiot.
Like stupid dumb head,
and
idiot face.
It was week 3.
Yeah.
Because Devonta Smith had 2 decent games, and AJ Brown had just done nothing. And then ever since then, it's been the exact opposite. So
that's got to make you feel great.
Yeah, I done screwed up.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. What's next?
13.
Okay.
Next. So, there's 2 number 13s.
All right, the top number 13.
Yeah. This is coming in from Michaela, Brian's wiffy.
Okay.
His wife. So it says, would Zach, that's me, Big Daddy Wayne Zach, would Zach vote for Zach, Mr. Sexy Coffee, if he ran for president, or vice versa? So I'll say, I think we both have pretty similar political viewpoints and political standings. So absolutely, I would vote for Zach. I mean, I would have to see hey, what his platform turns out to be, but from what I know of him so far, yes, I would vote for Zach.
And I would vote for Zach blindly, regardless of his platform, because I'm a true ride or die.
Just based on friendship.
Yeah, I mean, but also to save our friendship, I could also say I would not vote for him as president because that's.
I mean, it worked for one vice president.
Big Dick Energy Cheney.
I don't know if we can leave that.
We can't leave that in? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it is, Dick Cheney. That's his name, but.
Let's see here. I like this whole hopping around thing. I'm going to go back. I'll go to number 2, though. Your favorite book / podcast you're going through.
My Life, Your Life Together podcast.
Yeah, what a... Get out of here.
What a silly question. No, that actually is a good question. I'll say, book. So I am in a book series right now that I enjoy. I will say it's definitely not for children. It's a little intense. But it's called the Helldivers series, and so it is a post-apocalyptic kind of post-nuclear apocalypse series that's super cool, and it's just talking about the survivors and their life, basically 250 years after, like a nuclear holocaust. And so it's got a lot of cool things in it, but it is, post-apocalyptic genre. It's not for children.
I feel you.
I'll say that.
I mean, I'm only reading one book currently, because I've been told to. So, but before that, I was like, my favorite style is like fantasy, sci-fi, and so like I love reading through like the Warhammer 40K novels.
I've actually never read the novels of those, but I've heard that they're good.
Yeah, like I started with like the Blood Angels. They were just always my favorite faction. So like, I could always read anything Warhammer, Space Marine related. The Blood Raven Omnibus was like 3 books in one, was killer.
Have you ever read any of the Halo books?
No.
The Halo books are actually really good.
My friend used to read them a lot.
Well
He read
written,
them all.
very interesting. They're a good book series, but there's like 30 of them.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, so far behind now.
What about oh my gosh, I can't remember. What's his name? He wrote Mistborn, and it's a fantasy series. Give me 1 second, I got to look up. But he's a very good writer. Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, okay.
Brandon
Yeah.
Sanderson's novels. So he has a couple different like worlds that he's created. There's one that's like sci-fi, some that are like fantasy. But very good novels. I've read Mistborn. I haven't finished that series, but Mistborn in and of itself was a fantastic book.
Yeah.
Really good novel.
And
as far as podcasts,
the only 2 I've listened to recently, and I'm trying to listen to more like independent podcasts. I've followed a lot on Instagram recently, and I've been slowly working through some of their episodes, kind of just to figure out what works for them and see if I can incorporate it, make this a little better. But in terms of like big podcasts, It's Always Sunny podcast, and then Smartless with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and why do I always forget the other guy's name? Sean. I don't know. Oh man, I kind of feel it. But the concept of that podcast during COVID, and they each have a guest on, and like one person brings on a guest per episode, but it's a surprise guest.
So you have no idea what to expect.
But it's fun. It's just fun. I mean, you have 3 like comedic powerhouses on a podcast,
right?
Bringing in a guest that's sometimes a comedic powerhouse and sometimes not. But it's great.
See, one of the podcasts that I probably listen to the most is the Sean Ryan Show.
Oh yeah, you turned me onto that.
I love. So it started out right. He's a military veteran, retired Navy SEAL, and CIA contractor, and so it started out, he would do it for like historical purposes and stuff, and have other veterans on to talk about, their experiences and kind of detailing, and he's had like World War II veterans. He's had, more recent with the, global war on terror veterans from that. And then he ended up branching stories where he had on like, so the guy from the Machine Gun Preacher missionary that actually, so he had him on. He had some people that came
Gerard
out
Butler?
Like, yeah, he had he had the real life guy, which actually is a fantastic episode. He's had on people from like that came out of like the narcotics world, like cartel stuff. And then he's branched out into a lot of other things, kind of the political world. He's had on a senator, and so he kind of just has on people to talk about a lot of different stuff. He's almost turned into recently more of a news outlet, but more has eyewitness people. Like he had on people that were involved in the withdrawal from Afghanistan and talk about what actually happened. He's had, lots of different stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's not like
cool.
the news that we know it today.
He's had on political candidates to talk about their experience, their background, and why, like I showed you Vivek Ramaswamy came on his podcast. Like, I like a lot of the guests that he has on, and he tries to take on like big topics,
Yeah.
So
All right.
I find that one
There you
that
go.
would be my go-to.
Where we heading now, boy? Uh-oh.
I just read number 6. Worst thing you ever spent money on.
This house? No.
Oh,
The 2 dogs? No.
dang.
That's a great question. Before we
So
started,
many things.
Yeah, before we started the podcast, I actually told Zach a story of one night, Lex and I just spent a lot of money on shoes, and like they were all usable shoes, so I can't say it's the worst thing I've ever spent money on.
But it's like you just got on this like, I'm going to buy shoes, and you go on this binge and be like, oh, well, why did I buy all
I want
of
that.
these?
I want that. I want that. I want that. So worst thing I ever spent money on. I'm trying to think of big purchases, but there's always those little things like, oh, it's
Right.
$5, $10. I'll get that, and then be like, oh, this is not worth the $10. That could have had a cheeseburger.
Because I feel like I'm generally pretty good. Like, I'll get ideas of all this stuff that I'm like, ooh, I should buy. But then I generally slow down and I'm like, okay, let's start looking at reviews and do I actually need this? Probably when I first became a police officer, I was very much like, oh, blue line, and so I just went and like bought a ton of the like kind of moto like blue line everything, like t-shirts and hats and stuff like that, which is I was like, I was a cop, I'm not wearing any of this out in public, not gonna show people that I was a cop. I might get so I bought a bunch of blue line stuff, and then so that probably was like spending a lot of money on that just to wear them as like undershirts.
I mean, jerseys, and aren't any of them hardly ever
And they're all for terrible teams.
bite me.
Listen.
Houston Rockets, Atlanta Falcons, Manchester United, Zenit St. Petersburg, Portugal. One of Arsenal's third kits from a few years ago. It was like nice and purple and black. It was a sick kit. But yeah, I don't wear them all that much, and honestly, I don't even fit into any of them anymore. So we're gonna restart and just start with some Kansas City Chiefs gear and
There we
go up from there.
Is this your official like announcement that I've converted you?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm a Chiefs fan now, everybody. Let's go.
Welcome to the kingdom.
Thank you. Let's get. I know I like this one. This one will be easy. We don't have to pontificate.
Okay.
Favorite recent musical album? Mine is Lord of the Flies and Birds and Bees by an artist named Talk. It's all caps, Talk. I just stumbled upon his music a few months ago, and then this album came out. And it's a vibing album.
See, you should know me better than that by now. I can pontificate on anything.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let you.
Because I don't know that I have a specific... Because I don't really go for albums anymore with modern day music. It's like I hear a song and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll tell you, like, some of my favorite artists right now would be Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen.
I'm sorry
Are you apologizing for...
that you like country music.
Oh, well, I'm
That's
from
fine.
Texas. What do you expect?
That's fair. Hey, all right. So those are your artists you've been vibing
I've
with
been
lately.
vibing on. And also old school jazz.
Okay.
I've also been listening to a lot of that recently too.
Okay. I feel you.
All right, here's a very serious question. that, yes, this is a question that was sent in to us. Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yes.
Where does he live? Huh? Tell me that.
Because I played a video game with him. And one of my guildmates was called Dan the Muffin Man, and he lived in Texas. So that counts.
The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man. No, I don't know the real Muffin Man.
I don't either.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna knock this one out of the way right now. Why is relaxing in jeans so great? Whoever sent that in, you're a psychopath. It's not great, and you should probably seek some form of counseling.
Wait, where?
Number 10.
Why is relaxing in jeans so great?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Whoever
like
said that is a psychopath.
like some athletic shorts or like sweatpants.
I literally just hang out in my house in my underwear. Because I'm hot all the time, so why did I put clothes on?
This is why.
Nope. All right, your turn again.
Yeah, no, well, just on the jeans, like, I wouldn't choose to relax. I will, like, sit and just chill if I don't want to change and I'm just, like, tired. But if I'm, like, really wanting to, it's like sweatpants, bro. Like sweatpants.
Yeah.
Or some,
Exactly. If you relax in jeans, you're a psychopath.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one.
Oh, boy.
What question do you wish someone would ask you? Not that one. Just kidding. What question do you wish someone would ask you?
What is that, number 28?
Yeah.
What's a question you wish someone asked you? Not would ask. What's a question you wished someone asked you? Okay, yeah, you're right. Oh my God.
Strokes this morning.
I don't.
That's why we can't talk.
Is that a viable answer? I wish somebody would ask me that. But I guess then they could just be asking me it and not have the means to fulfill it. So,
Right. I don't know.
It's weird because then I have to like think of my own question, and then nobody's asking me. I'll just answer my own question.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know.
Wish someone asked me. I'm gonna have to come back to that one.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that one. Question again from a podcast guest that has been on a couple times. Ponathan Jaley. Pon Jaley. John Paley.
What? Number 13. The second number 13, if you will.
13, the sequel.
13, the sequel. What could have any job you wanted? This.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, if I could podcast for my job, that'd be great.
Either this or, like, I would love to just, like, the homesteader life, right? I would love that. Like, hang out.
That makes sense for you.
With horses, animals, out in the wood, go out in the woods.
It's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of manual labor, though.
Yeah, but
no, this is my shtick.
And then in my downtime from that, come do podcasts.
That's fine. So I'll do it full time to keep it going while we all live on your homestead.
Yeah. When I get like 1,000 acres and I start breaking it up into family plots.
Whenever that happens, I'll give you money for it. We'll figure it out. What a good question. That was also from Michaela. Michaela, you're asking very great questions. You had two about one about the president and about this. That was great. The question. So now you have to read it.
I saw the one. Again, good question from Michaela. Although could stir some interesting responses from family members. For Thanksgiving dinner, if you could trade one family member for one celebrity, who would it be?
I would trade my entire family for Thanksgiving dinner with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, if he sent me an Instagram message and was like, hey, I want you to come down to my home and have Thanksgiving with me and my family, I'd be like, okay. I'd leave Lex up here with her family. If it was only me, I'd be down there in a heartbeat.
You're like, peace out, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. No remorse. That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
That's true. I'm trying to think. What celebrity?
Part of me wanted to do like a Michael Scott answer from The Office. What does he say? I'd invite like I forget one of the kids' names, one of the Jolie Pitts, and he said because that way either Brad or Angelia would have to come at the end of the night to pick him up.
I don't know. That's a tough. I probably would go with Chris Pratt. I just enjoy Chris Pratt. I loved him in Parks and Rec. I love him in the MCU.
All right, so for which family member?
That's a tough decision because I'm like, who's going to get mad?
That's why I answered it how I did. Because I immediately texted Brian and Michaela because I'd swap out my mom for The Rock. And I was like, I can't ask it because, like, whole family. So that's with you saying.
Say, I might have to steal your answer just so I don't offend people. I'll keep my wife, but I'll trade the rest of my family. I'll go have Thanksgiving with Chris Pratt.
Man, you're good. I was willing to sell my wife up the river, too. All right. This is a confusing question, but I'm just curious about what your answer would be. Number 23. What mammal/spider crossover would you choose? Does that mean as a pet, as a weapon? Like,
I'm assuming that's as like a pet.
Yeah.
So, mammal spider hybrid.
Yeah, I would take the Scorpion King because is a scorpion a spider? I don't think so.
They may be arachnids. I don't know. Yeah. It's not a spider, but they're an arachnid.
Oh, I'll play it right. All right. So I'll pick a different mammal. I don't have to pick a type of spider, do I? Because that's just too much.
No, I don't think you have to pick a type of spider. But, like, can my dog...
Sure, why not? Yeah, why not?
So I can have a
spider pig. Spider pig
does whatever a spider pig does. Spider pig. That's my answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with spider pig too. Why not? Yep. For somebody who's got 3 pigs, has to pick spider pig, I think.
But you think about that, that's kind of a creepy idea. Like, imagine, so I like to go hunt. Imagine if I was out there and spider deer, and all of a sudden this deer with like 8 legs starts crawling through never mind. That's creepy.
Yeah. Nightmares. This has been a question I've been wanting to double back to. Oh, wait, it's your turn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, my God. The attitude coming off of him right now is ridiculous.
Hold on.
See, you're not even ready.
I was not prepared. Okay, hold on. This one from the executive producer. It's 2 questions in one. Miss Executive Producer number 19.
I forgot to space them apart. That's my bad. Because that's what happens.
Questions.
So my wife, our executive producer, is currently out of state, and so this is what happens when she's not here to help me. I screw up her entry. But go ahead. Ask the first one, because they don't go together. Or ask whichever one you want.
What's your dream vacation?
Your mom's house.
Got him. I'll fight you.
Yeah, you will. You'll win, too.
Oh, man, that's... So, I've always wanted to go visit Ireland. So, I would love, like, a vacation in like the Irish countryside, a little Irish cottage, go see the Emerald Isles. Like that would be awesome. I would include Scotland in that too. That'd be super cool.
I mean, we're talking about a dream vacation.
Right.
I'm thinking like a month or 2 month trip around Europe.
Like backpack through Europe, not necessarily
Not
travel
like,
Europe.
Yeah, like if it's a dream vacation, if it's just where I'm getting driven around so I don't have to go. Not a 2 month trip around Europe. I don't think that'll be, unless I podcast full time and I get to do live shows with you around
and we start
the
traveling for our podcast.
Wow, how wild would that be?
We'd have to get way more famous. So all our listeners, like, share, subscribe.
If all of our listeners just got one listener, and then they all got one listener
in 9 years.
But that's a great. I mean, so do you want to alter your dream vacation answer? Like, do you want to?
I would just add to it. Would be like Ireland, Scotland, like seeing all these cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
because there's other places that I would like to see too, but that would be like my main thing.
So the question I was going to ask before I cut Zach off was, will you get me another drink? No. Number 24. And it's a question I've been wanting to do with you for a while because episode, which came out almost 5 months ago at this point. I think it came out in July.
June?
Oh, yeah, it came out, and I figured I could use it as a platform to meet with people, talk about things I've never talked about, or talk about things I'm passionate about. And then Zach Jenkins.
So I know that it was actually a long time before you started the podcast when my wife and I were still dating. There was one of the times we were all like hanging out. And you and I joked. We joked about starting a podcast together.
We did. He didn't know I wasn't joking, though.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, that'd be a fun idea. Like,
was that when I broke the chair at your house? No,
no, we were already married.
You lived up
when
here.
We broke
Yeah,
the chair. Come on, bro.
I forgot about that.
No, that was we were out at like a restaurant somewhere.
May have been Brown's.
Yeah, something. But we're talking about it and. Like, I always thought, like, hey, that'd be a fun idea. Like, just to sit around with friends and just talk about whatever. I always just thought that would be funny. But I was always like, no one would listen to that. Like, no, I'm not interested in someone to sit and listen to it. And then actually doing it. And I was like, huh. And then I have ideas for things to talk about. So, I came on and I was like, this is actually a lot of fun. Like, I have a fun time doing it. Some ideas, and then I was like, man, that would be cool to like do more of. And it was actually around that time that Zach came to me and was like, hey, I actually would like someone to like co-host with me and help run the show and do ideas together and interview guests. Like, would you be willing to do it? And I was like, funny you ask. I'm super down, absolutely down.
Basically, what he's saying is he waited until I bought all the equipment and spent most.
I was like, I'll let him
fine.
Get it off the ground, and then I'll just sneak in.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I need a drink.
Pause. I like this. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, this is really fun. All you finally got to
choose that one.
I'll read that one.
Yeah. Ooh. This one is a really good question. And this one's going to be really hard for me to answer.
Uh-oh.
You can only choose one to watch for the rest of your life. Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or Star Wars. Which is it? There's one I can rule out right off the bat. The movies have not been great.
No, I like DC Universe shows, movies. I do like them. I love DC Comics. Like,
Yeah.
they'll always hold a special. But if we're talking about watching, I definitely got to rule that one out too.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I love a lot of the DC superheroes, villains. There's a lot of cool stuff there, but as a cinematic world, they're just not up to par with the rest of
I
these.
feel like I want to give two answers for this.
Okay.
Because, like, which is my favorite to watch? The answer is Harry Potter. I will watch Harry Potter, all the movies
over and over.
once a month if
Yeah.
you want me to. But there's a limitation on them. So for the rest of my life, I mean, I can't imagine they'd ever get boring, but they probably would by the time I hit, 87, 88 or so. So, like, do I hedge my bets and be like, well, now I got to pick stuff with the most content and really space it out? Because Marvel, you're talking the cartoons, you're talking the MCU, you're talking about the shows.
That's true.
So it's...
But with that, honestly, so Lord of the Rings I'll have to rule out as well. I love it. Phenomenal movies. I love the Lord of the Rings, but makeup rather than CGI. There was
Yeah.
too much CGI in The Hobbit, in my opinion. But I honestly, so I love Harry Potter, but I love Star Wars and Marvel more. So it's really between those two. And if I have to choose between Marvel and Star Wars, I got to go Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars nerd to the core. And kind of like you said, it's on par with Marvel as far as so many shows and movies and stuff. Marvel has more, but it's still...
I feel like if I just twist a word of the question for the rest of your life, it's for me. Because then you get all the books, you get all the novels, you get all the everything.
True.
And Marvel obviously has comic books and all that stuff too, but I know I would enjoy
Star Wars Legends.
the Star Wars lore that builds upon itself is amazing.
Yeah.
I would probably pick Star Wars too.
I'm glad we both picked the correct answer.
Yeah. That was a great question. Man, some of these questions are going to get us in trouble too. I don't know why we're saving one. So I'm just going to, number 12, take about a topic you feel so strongly about. But I guess I could have a strong take on a dumb topic. I suppose. Illegal. No.
Your strong take, your hot take.
And I'll be honest with everybody. The strongest thing I have on like a hot take about a thing, I can't say on the podcast because they just can't do it.
It'll be too controversial.
Yeah, like it'll be way too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say the things that I feel the strongest about are gonna be very controversial.
Yeah.
Topics. So I don't know how much we want to get into those, but
well, I feel like this isn't controversial, but I do feel about it. There either needs to be limitations or cognitive or
hallelujah, preach
for government officials.
Yes. Term limits.
Because
term limits and salary caps.
Yes, all of that. Because I have so many patients
strongly about that.
So many patients in my office that get shit and stuff, and I'm like,
are younger than our
they're young
officials.
Yeah, like what is that? It's just asinine to me.
We've got
We're not letting these people drive, but we have
our country.
Exactly. So I'd say that's one that like I feel like a lot of people can agree with that.
Term limits and salary caps. You shouldn't be able to vote. Like if I could vote to increase my salary, like of course who's not going to do that?
Yeah.
Right. I vote to give me more money? Of course I do. Right? Like,
No.
that's such a
I already
dumb-
have too much. Let's
that is
give it to
such a
somebody
dumb idea.
else.
Like, who is going to vote no?
Yeah. All right, what's next?
In the spirit of that same question,
Uh-oh.
let's do another hard-hitting one. What is one belief or philosophy that you vehemently disagree with? Vehemently disagree with.
Vehemently, if you will.
Vehemently.
Vehemently.
So, belief or philosophy. I have, so a philosophy that I vehemently with would be, moral relativism, right? Because without so more moral.
Yeah, explain it for the
moral-
people listening. Definitely
moral
them.
relativism, right? Is your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth.
Oh, yeah.
Morality is relative to, so it really leaves there. Nothing means anything then.
Yeah.
What's true for me is true for me, and what's true for you is true for you. What if my truth says yours is a lie?
Yeah.
Like, it's just dumb stuff. Nothing means anything at that point because it's all subjective. Which at that point makes no right and no wrong, because what if it's right for me, but it's wrong for you? Well, then it's right for it's just.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just too subjective. Nothing means anything anymore.
I mean, I'm coming at from a more religious standpoint, but I think not religious or whatever, is the idea of predestination. I know that a lot, but like, I don't believe we live in a script. My life's not
Rigged.
Yeah, but
I agree with you.
It's way more complicated than that. And I would say we can turn it into a whole other episode, but we're never going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to say never. But I have no idea what that looked like, because that would get confusing very quickly. But that's mine.
Yeah. No,
I'm going to ask you a question off the podcast now. Well, I'm going to ask you now before I forget, because it was something Pastor Charlie said. He was talking about how he doesn't believe that once you're saved, you're always saved.
I don't believe that either.
Okay.
Because the Bible clearly talks about those that have way they never believed in God.
Right. Backed it up with like scripture and everything.
Yeah.
But like, I know, a lot of people who believe,
Once saved, always saved. I said the prayer, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Like, no, the Bible clearly addresses it. And talks about, it talks about signs of the end times is the hearts of many will grow cold. Take heed not to be deceived and fall away. Like, it talks about there are believers. And I don't think it's like, people that followed Jesus but they weren't actually saved. No, I believe it's talking about true believers that fall away.
Yeah. All right, okay, just checking.
Yeah. So.
All right, so we got some hard hitting questions out of the way there. Let's lighten it up. Very real level. Nate, listen to the anxiety episode. He wanted to talk about a depression aspect of it. Reach out to ask if he could come on and talk about it. Came on, and it's our second most listened to episode of the entire podcast.
One of our most popular.
So
episodes.
He's definitely is a favorite. And which I think is cool. Some again, same as me. He always wanted to, but never did it, and then kind of like
I was kind of taking
Zach's doing it. Like, I can do it too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have social media set up or anything.
Does he have a name for his podcast yet?
I believe it's the 518 Catalyst.
Okay.
I could be mistaken though.
So for our listeners, just watch out for us.
Yeah.
Once it's set up, we'll leave a link and we'll give him a shout out and link to his podcast and all his pages and everything.
Yeah, but he's a great speaker, and he has a lot of friends with a lot. I'm really super excited for him to start making episodes so I can listen to him and maybe even get some tricks of interviewing and stuff like that. So Nate, You might not be the favorite, but
Sorry, buddy.
you're top 1.5.
Top 1.5.
I
Only beat you.
I'm sorry, anonymous.
Anonymous
Yeah,
person.
anonymous. Yeah.
He asking about Nate.
You going to page 2?
Yeah. So here's an interesting one, I think. This again is coming from our own Pon Jaylee.
Yep.
You and everyone you've had on the podcast so far are stranded on an island.
Okay.
Who gets what job?
What a fantastic question.
That is a great question. Can I call dibs on hunting stuff?
Absolutely. There's nobody else I would trust
Hunting,
with that.
fishing, I can take care of that.
I don't want to. This seems very presumptive, but I feel like I should be the leader.
Be in charge.
I think I just have great leadership skills.
You
and
the executive producer.
And I inspire confidence. No, she can't make the hard decisions like I can. And I inspire confidence.
I'll follow you.
Yeah?
I'll follow you as the leader.
Wow,
Yeah.
That went over easy. Alex Johnson
Is the cook.
Yeah,
he's
the cook.
He's the camp chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
thank God we had a culinarily trained chef who
Yeah.
went to chef school.
'Cause
no,
on an
went to
island,
culinary school.
I'll catch fish and hunt whatever and gather fruits and coconuts and whatnot, and I'm sure he'd make some phenomenal out of it.
Yeah.
Like, he'd do a great job.
Brian Lawrence would be a meat shield because he's good at getting stabbed.
Well, No.
We have to start over.
Brian, I think, would be our, like, tech innovative, like...
You just heard him earlier this morning. He doesn't know anything about tech. What tech is on a desert island?
I don't know.
Is it a desert island? No, just an island. What tech is
would
on an
he
island?
Not be an inventor and, like, invent some sort of contraptions? I don't know. He's smart.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely part of the brain trust.
Yeah, I was like, he's smart. He would come up with stuff.
Yeah.
Either that or we'll put him on the planning committee for our rescue. Like, all right, buddy, you figure out how to get us off this rock.
Okay. What about Michaela? Because Michaela did an episode on Cocaine Bear. She was on the podcast.
That's true. I feel like her and Lex could just be the character, like
sexist.
Their mothers.
You are so sexist.
No, it's not.
Oh
like
my
a sexist
God.
thing. It's like they're the nicest. They're gonna take care of people.
God. Oh my God. No, but you're right though.
It's not a sexist thing. It's just they're the nicest, and they're gonna look out and care for people more than I probably.
No,
would.
you're absolutely right. John is our utility. Like,
I feel like
I've never met a person who you could tell to do something
and he'll figure it out.
and he'll just figure it out. He'll have no idea, and
he'll be like, "I'll make it work."
Like, you come up with plan A and maybe plan B. John has already gotten to plan F, M, and Q before you even start action. So John is definitely bounce ideas off of and your utility guy. Just
Like,
whatever.
if you give him like, "Hey, I need this to happen," he'll be like, "Okay, and he'll figure it out.
Joe Vote.
Joe Vote's also part of the brain trust.
Yeah. And I would say there's going to be conflict that arises on an island.
Yes.
There's not many people better versed for de-escalation of any situation than Joe, probably.
I think that is
and
he's very
understanding, insightful, and soft-spoken.
Yeah, he would be able to solve and resolve conflict.
And I guess Nate, we would just eat first.
See, I don't know Nate very well outside of this pod, the one episode we did with him. So
Nate's another guy who just gets stuff.
So him and John would be like, "Hey, you two, we need a structure. Like,
One of those
can you figure it out?" And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna make it happen."
Like, he's a selfless person
Mm-hmm.
with a great work ethic, and that's like the best combination to have on it.
Yeah,
stranded on an island.
Stranded on an island.
Is it bad that I don't know if those are all the guests or not?
Ronnie.
Yeah, he could do that in a heartbeat.
So he's R&D. He's research and development.
Yeah, but I also think he's like my right-hand man too. Not my secretary. No, not like in terms of leadership. That's ridiculous. He's too young.
So
He's
I
like
can
my
be VP.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. I just meant like he's like, I don't know. I can't describe how necessary he would be to survival, but he would be necessary to survival.
You're like, we wouldn't make it without him, but I can't tell
but
you
I can't
why.
tell you why. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, and if I forgot about you, boy, am I sorry. Please come back on or be more memorable.
Oh, shots fired.
Who was that? Oh, that was
a good question.
That was
John.
a
Thank
great
you.
question. Do you have a weird uncommon food combo? I think it's not too strange, but my grandfather every Thanksgiving would always do ham with cream cheese and a scallion and then roll it up and make like an hors d'oeuvre out of it.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
And like some people don't really like that or think of it, but I always consider that a weird food combo that I absolutely love.
A weird food. So it's hard for me because to me it's not a weird food combo if I eat it. Right? Like
okay.
I'll go with one that I know a lot of people are grossed out by, and I don't eat this often, but I have eaten it and I do enjoy them. But have you ever had a peanut butter and pickle sandwich?
No, but I would try it.
They're pretty good. I like those. I also, for me, weird food. I put hot sauce, like Mexican hot sauce, on everything.
And he puts ketchup on eggs.
Sometimes scrambled eggs.
Ew.
Sometimes.
You're a gross person.
I also will, instead of that, do salsa.
Jeez.
No,
question over. I'm done with this.
Hey. It said
You.
weird food
I don't
combo.
like your boyfriend.
I don't have a boyfriend. And if you're talking to my wife, I'm not her boyfriend. I'm her ex-boyfriend.
That's true.
Now her.
Hold, please.
Pause for snot.
Have I ever told you? Have I ever told you that I wanted to make a tissue company exclusively for Christians called Sneezes for Jesus?
Can we?
Sure.
And market it to mega churches? Mega churches need a lot of tissue.
That just reminded me of something. You were there last Sunday where Pastor Matt was talking about how they put that cloth over.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually went to Arthur, New York, where Lexi's sister works.
Yeah.
And they weren't describing it. Like Sue started describing it as Pastor Matt's prayer cloth that heals people. And if you say that to a non-Christian or somebody who could explain
That's gonna
it,
be like cult.
that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And Brandon was like, why do they have a cloth why does your pastor have a cloth that heals people?
Yeah.
And then we were like,
We're like, please don't
I was like,
describe it that way.
it's like they can't say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do
My
we go
turn,
from
right?
here? How do we
disappear?
disappear?
Shout out to Pillar.
Yeah.
This is a great band.
I loved
I
Pillar.
love Pillar.
Let's go Pillar.
Um,
Pillar, barely know her.
Pillar. Calm down, Bill Cosby. Oh, how about this one? AOC. No doesn't mean no. It means find a different way. Bill
Yeah.
Cosby quietly smiling in the background. Good job, AOC. You just
It's not rape if you yell surprise.
oh boy. So this one, I feel like this is an easy question for me.
Okay. Was it?
I feel like it's going to be an easy question for you too.
Yeah.
Number 7. Would you rather go back to 3rd grade with everything you know now or be given $100 million right now?
What would you pick?
$100 million.
Okay, me too. I thought you were gonna try and be like, well, you could, but
Go
like,
to third grade iPhone and
like I don't know how to do that. I don't
Right.
know any of the lottery numbers from, you know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know any of it.
like.
So I would definitely
if I
take
went
the 100
back
mil.
to third grade with the knowledge I have now, yes, I would be smarter through my growing up years and maybe make some better decisions, better life decisions. But I wouldn't be $100 millionaire
Yeah.
with those decisions. $100 million, I am $100 millionaire. I can pay off my debts. I can invest it into other things and make more money.
Yeah. By the
for
following
me.
year, you could have so much more
Right.
money than 100 million. So,
You know, to walk into a financial planner with, hey, here's $100 million. Like I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna pay off these debts, buy this property. You know, put this in savings, invest the rest of my money, and make me more money. Like,
correct.
You know,
Correct. So that's what I would do. I'm going to combine the two questions after that. One thing you like about you really enjoy about podcasting, and one thing you really dislike. I really enjoy producing content that people enjoy.
I think I know your dislike, but
My
continue on.
dislike,
editing.
I hate editing. Okay.
See, for me, because so far I've not had to be involved in the editing process because it's all just on Zach's computer. We're not big enough where I can come and have access to it and edit and everything.
Is that the only thing that stops you? I'll give you a key to the house.
You're like, I will give you a key to the house.
Yeah.
So the thing that I really enjoy about podcasting, like I find it fun just sitting here with friends and even strangers, even people that I've just met for the first time, and just talking about stuff, talking about cool stuff, having fun, joking around, talking about interesting things, coming up with questions. Like it's just fun to sit and talk and, you know, think about things, ask questions about things, learn. I enjoy it. The one thing I don't like about, or I really dislike about podcasting so far, is that I have to drive 30 minutes to get here. Like for me, that's the worst part, and that's not a big deal, you know, but that's the worst part of it so far.
Yeah.
There's not really a downside at this point.
I mean, maybe someday we'll have a studio halfway.
Yeah. You're like, well, buddy, if you had bought the house right next door to me, you would just have to walk across the yard.
Yeah, I'm still mad at you about that.
Listen, it sold before I even had a chance to look into it. It was like 2 days later that you're like, hey, the house sold. And I was like, whoa, what? So, blame your neighbors, geez.
I will. I didn't like him anyways. That's not true. Where are we going from here?
So this, I'm interested. Do you prefer fun podcasts or more serious ones? And I'm also a little bit curious about the question. Are they asking what we prefer to do as interviews on our own podcast or to listen to?
I would assume I think both are necessary.
Yeah.
I enjoy different things about both, but because it more aligns with my goal of wanting to reach more people and help more people and support more people. And then me as a person, I just enjoy being funny and doing funny things. So that's the only reason why I would pick the other one.
Dope and I do.
I'm dope and I do dope things. That's good. But probably the funny ones for that reason.
So it's interesting because listening to podcasts, I pretty much, for the most part, almost exclusively listen to serious podcasts about something. You know,
And I only listen to funny ones.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I really enjoy doing funny podcasts, like fun, lighthearted, kind of goofy ones. Like, I really enjoy the serious ones as well because I feel like it also gives me a chance to, like, think about, like, some deep stuff, be able to ask deep questions, especially if it's something that I'm not super, you know, knowledgeable about or don't have a whole lot of experience in myself. Like the depression one, I could ask a lot of questions that, you know, I haven't necessarily experienced all those things
I will say,
myself. It was cool.
fans enjoy that about it. More of both for years to come.
And if you want to keep on seeing it for years to come, like, comment, subscribe, buy our merch, share us.
And buy me a coffee.
Yeah.
It's linked in the episodes now. It might only be on Buzzsprout, but I'll add a new link.
And
You could donate as little as $3.
how much is 100 million?
Man. I'm not going to say anything that I just thought of. Oh, look
It's
at
your turn.
my wife sent in another question. What is it like to have me as your executive producer? And then not a question, but continues to say, you'd have a lot more typos in your posts without me. Well, I still have typos in my posts, so you need to do a better job.
And he puts your questions together, multiple questions into one. So,
I would say it's nice to have you as a helping hand and executive producer, but I mean, you could do more for the podcast if I'm being honest. So,
I do think she is a voice of reason at some point, though.
like that time when last week I had to call you to see if I could leave something in an episode because she told me I couldn't, and then you agreed with her. So
Yeah.
I lost on a 2-1 vote.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I know it was hilarious.
But it was inappropriate.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's me. I'm people.
But it is not appropriate to share publicly on a public platform.
Fair. Man, we're running low on questions here. We're doing good.
No, we're not. We still got a couple good ones.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Is that just on the first page, or are you looking at the second?
Second. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man, you've missed crossing somehow, haven't you?
Yeah, a couple.
Oh, well.
All right. Let's see. Let me see. I think this is a good one for us. What are each of your dreams for the podcast for the future?
Again, if we take dream at its, I don't know, at face value, like a dream is a dream, right? Like, that's supposed to be big. Obviously, be famous and be able to...
Like, it would be awesome if this absolutely took off and could turn it from something fun that we do occasionally with friends to, like, something that we actually do as a business, like, at full time. Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Then there's no reason it can't happen,
Yeah.
right? It happens to some people. So,
Yeah. Look at how many, I mean, there are a lot of people that are famous podcasters now. And there are a lot of people that aren't even necessarily famous, but are well known enough that they turn this into something that, you know,
yeah.
supports them. They can do full time as a career. So I think I think that would be the really cool idea, is to be able to do this. Full time, I would be down. Yeah. Your turn, bro, Chacho.
I'm going to throw out number 5, and we're not going to go into in depth about it. Okay?
Okay.
Because it really needs to be an episode on its own, because myself and Brian Lawrence have gone back and forth over this for probably the better part of 2 or 3 years at this point. Would you rather teleport, like have the ability to teleport?
Or vehicle or gas, like,
Yeah.
save a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and that'd be cool. I can just go anywhere I want anytime, just teleport, like, but I'm not counting out the fact of, like, I would love to time travel and be able to go see stuff in history. Like, that would be awesome. But teleport, I would choose over that, because teleport to me is more practical.
Dancing. I mean, give my wife a hug, and then be like, time travel, you don't know where you're going to land. Like, if I time travel.
It's probably going to be just the woods.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
Brian, you're wrong.
Teleport for the... Does he vote?
He's a time traveler. He's a time traveler.
Yeah, never mind. That's a whole other podcast. Because I was about to get into some stuff, and then we would get into the whole realm of time travel and how it affects history and the present and the future. And
we don't have time for that right now.
You don't have time.
Your mom doesn't have time.
So question number 27 is...
Can we end with that one?
Okay. I was gonna say
I'll let you ask it, but...
I was going to say it's kind of the same as...
It is, but ask questions.
Anything you want to expound on that? Or
No,
just...
Wow. If I had a video on your face, that would have been priceless.
Because I'm sitting here waiting.
Anybody's ever given you.
Oh, yeah. So I have a few that here. But was... And it was respond, don't react. I think that's
great.
Very insightful when it comes to conflict or really any situation. Naturally, we want to react. We go with what we feel, and we have a reaction to whatever it is. But if you respond to something, it's thought out, right? It's you take the time to go, okay, this is what was said. Do I understand it? Or this is what was done. Do I understand it? How do I feel about it? I'm going to choose what my response is, not just react out of your initial, emotions or your initial understanding. I thought that was just brilliant. So I'll give props where props are due. That came from my father-in-law, Pastor Matt Medic. So
he's pretty smart.
Yeah, he's kind of a brilliant guy.
He's a good dude.
So a very good piece of advice. Respond, don't react.
Yeah. Beefy boy. I mean, what is a topic about in the future? Number 21.
Yo, mama.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like,
we're pretty open.
Yeah.
To kind of
wait.
whatever.
Should I actually read that question for real, and then we'll just kind of discuss it?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was actually going to read it.
Yeah.
So one of the last few questions here: what is a topic or topics you hope to talk about in the future? I mean, that's hard because there's not much, I don't think, that we won't talk about. It's not like I have a dream topic. I think we both want to do more episodes with diabetics and their journeys and how it's handled. Yeah, and how it's handled in their lives. I think that's one thing. Regardless of if people enjoy those episodes or not, that's something that's close to both of our hearts that we're going to keep doing. So,
yeah.
And they're all going to be labeled type 1 diabetes, ... whatever it says. So if you don't like those episodes, then that's your cue not to listen to it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think another one similar to those lines that I would love to discuss is just because we're both Christian, we're both part of the church. You're
a Christian?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
I love me some Jesus.
I almost said Jesus pie, but they didn't serve that at the Last Supper. It was just bread.
Just bread. Just Jesus bread.
Sorry, continue. We're both Christian.
So I would love to talk about healing and how, right, we both have a chronic illness. We both believe in healing. We both have seen and witnessed healings.
Yep.
Even though we both are still waiting for healing in our own lives. And just how that different ways that the church handles it or has mishandled it. And how that's affected us. I would love to breach that topic at some point.
And we've talked about this for a while, trying to figure out what that episode would look. If you're not a Christian or you don't necessarily believe in healing or stuff like that, you might not understand why we have to figure out how to approach it, especially given how we serve in our church and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It is something we have to handle kind of carefully.
Tactfully.
Yes. I do anticipate Zach's wife being part of those episodes, though, because
she's a smart lady.
She's smart.
She's smarter than me.
She's smarter.
I'm married up, for the record.
So much smarter than you.
I married up the reacher and the settler. I was the reacher, and I'm proud of it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, 2 questions left.
3.
28. Are you counting 28?
I'm counting 19, part 2.
Oh, crap. All right, 3 questions left.
Who would win in an arm wrestling competition?
Zach Jenkins. To this day. To my knowledge, I don't have any. Anytime somebody's misrepresented me and it affected me enough to address it with.
I've been misrepresented where it still affects me. Like, I've had a couple situations, but it's one of those, kind of like you said, if I don't know them, well, you know, like you said, I would address them about, like, hey, like, this. I'll try to address it. If that doesn't happen, though, I usually can trust in going, all right, well, the people that matter the most to me, correct, you know, someone's comment me and are going to know the truth about my character and who I am. And if they're not willing to take that time to know me or look at my already know me well enough, then am I going to break my back to try to prove a point to you if you're not willing to look and see the truth for yourself?
For real?
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good question. Good answer. All right. Round us out. I know 28, unless you have something for 28, because we said we'd come back to it. I still have nothing. I don't know about a question that you wish somebody asked you.
Yeah.
To me, that question is like, tell me something you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I off the video platform.
Sweet. Rock and roll.
So, I think for me, kind of think we both have for the podcast. Just kind of gradually expand our viewership or our audience, whether it be merch or something that can actually support the podcast.
Every other month, special episodes. If people wanted to do a small monthly donation, you know, if you did that, there'd be incentives where you get more content, or at least
Patreon.
Yeah. Well, that buy me a coffee is for. That's what that's for. Except I don't have to pay anything to buy me a coffee. It's actually a brilliant, it's a brilliant setup they have. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's the grassroots movement of how we start and then we blow up and become, you know, bigger than the Joe Rogan experience and take over and become podcast kings. John's not here. He's not a guest on this episode, bro.
All right.
All right. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions. There were a lot of great questions in there. There were a lot of fun questions.
For real.
There were some deep questions. Thank you guys to everyone who sent in questions, ideas coming out. So, yeah, if you want more merch and you want to support us, go there. Outside of that, thank you guys for coming and listening to the My Life, Your Life Together podcast. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.